Boots went to the next best thing, which is even better than Virgil Ortiz. He went to Xander Zayas. But Xander Zayas is a very good fighter, a complete fighter, a fighter who I think presents next to the most, he probably the second most difficult guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy.
It's tough to call, but you might have to give the edge to Boots just because he's on a roll, with his past opponents, the way he's been handling them. Stylistically, I think I would have to give a little edge, but I do love Xander.
The absolute explosive clash between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis will settle the size versus skill debate on June 27, and boxing analysts including Roy Jones shared their honest take and revealed some inside info. Jones praised Boots, who bravely took the next hardest fight instead.
I really wanted to see Boots tested by another fighter beforehand. I wanted to see him fight Virgil Ortiz first because
at 54.
Yes, because those two guys were kind of on a collision course. However, I think Golden Boy and Virgil Ortiz had some issues. He can do so many things. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. He's a very, very respected guy, and I think he's very mature for his age.
That's where the breakdown shifts from legacy talk to pure stylistic strategy. Former champ Oscar De La Hoya praises Boots Ennis as a complete fighter who controls distance masterfully.
Yeah, I think stylistically, it's a great matchup. I think Boots is very, very talented. He's in his prime, obviously. He's facing a guy who knows how to use his distance and throws hard punches, combinations. He has the will to win. I think, this is gonna be a great fight. He's a grown man, and let's patch things up and work things out so we can get these fights, in place, because he is the best guy at 154, I feel.
Do you think the Fundora fight could happen this year since he is the interim champion?
I hope so. I hope so, because they do have their plan of fighting champion, and then unifying with the Boots fight, the winner of the Boots fight and the winner of Fundora. So I'm hoping I can clear things up. I'm hoping I can fix things, because I do still feel that Virgil is the best 54-pounder out there.
Yeah, how do you think that fight would go with Fundora based on how he looked against Keith Thurman 2 weeks ago?
It'll be a tough walk in the park, that's for sure. But if there's anybody who can do it, it is Virgil. But it'll be a great fight. Fundora is such a talent. It's incredible how he uses his short length and his long length to keep you at bay, to fight you short in the inside. He's a complete fighter, but I feel that, it'll be a great fight.
And what is the best advice you could give Zayas against Boots Ennis if he's going to pull off that upset?
Jab. Floyd Mayweather Sr. used to tell me, throw 40 jabs around. Nobody beats you. After your jabs, combinations, nobody beats you. That's it.
And you were really impressed with him. So he's gotten a lot better, you feel, in the last couple of fights?
Xander Zayas has gotten better.
However, Jaron Ennis dismisses any difference between him and Zayas, even the size gap, height. He said he stopped every bigger man he's faced. But, he said, his boxing IQ won't save Zayas from the knockout.
He said, he tried to say I was little. Bro, we the same height, bro. Like, he gonna find out. I'm gonna show him. He ain't really too much to say.
Would love to know, do you consider him, besides yourself, do you think he's the best guy at 154, just using the eye test at least? Or do you think it's like Fundora?
I feel like he a solid fighter, he getting better, but like I said, he ranked maybe, I'm number one for sure, and then he could be right out there. The championship level coming down to boxing IQ and who really like, who really that, and I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show I'm really that.
Seeing that confidence in Boots, Roy Jones said he is ready for anyone, but Andre Ward wonders if this fight comes a year too soon for 23-year-old Zayas. Ward shows doubts that Zayas may not be truly ready for a fighter of Boots Ennis' caliber.
It's 23, and when I look at this matchup initially, the first thing I think about, is it too soon for Xander Zayas? Is it a year too soon? Is it a year and a half too soon? Some would say, but he's still he's a two-time world champion. That doesn't mean that he's ready for this. I think Xander, and I like Xander a lot. I like him a lot personally. I like his movement. I like how he's carried himself, and I like him. I've seen his growth, calling his fights on ESPN. He's got a lot to like. He's got the range. He's got the height. He's tough. He got a whole country behind him, and he fully embraces trying to be the next great Puerto Rican champion, and he's gonna cause some problems for Boots Ennis.
While looking at the technical aspects of Boots Ennis, Jones said he will give a tough fight as he picks the most suitable opponent for his skill set, with their legacies at stake even before the first punch is thrown.
Boots, on the other hand, is looking for that coming out party type fight. So he got to fight somebody at this point. And because he couldn't get A, he went to B. And I like that about Boots, because Boots saying, I want all the smoke. If this one won't take me, I'll go find the next one. And so, since he couldn't make the fight with Ortiz, he made the fight with Xander. This is what you want to see. This is a barn burner, I think. May the best man win, but both of these guys are capable of becoming the biggest threat to Fundora in the weight class, because right now, Fundora is still the king of the weight class.
From a broader promotional perspective, Eddie Hearn admits he didn't believe the Zayas Boots fight would ever happen. He was shocked when Zayas signed the contract. Still, Hearn gives Zayas full credit for being different and says great fighters like Boots are exactly what Zayas needs to show how many more levels he has.
But when they told me that Zayas was interested in the fight, I said, no way. It doesn't matter whether Zayas is interested. Top Rank won't let him fight Boots. And honestly, I could not believe it when he signed the contract. And it worries me a little bit, because I just think, why? And listening to him there, he shows you why. Because he wants to prove he's the best. We need to celebrate that. But this feels like Mayweather-Canelo all over again. This generational great who's going too early. But you have to give him his props. But this guy is different, and he will show how many more levels he's got. But he needs great fighters like Zayas to bring that out of him.
But on the other side of that conversation, Eddie calls Boots Ennis the easiest top fighter to work with. No overpricing, no unreasonable demands. He insists Boots only wants greatness, unify belts, become undisputed, and follow a clear path through fights like Stanionis versus Kelly. For Boots, this isn't about money, it's about proving he's the best at 147 pounds.
Boots is the easiest guy to deal with in that respect. He doesn't overprice himself, he doesn't act unreasonably. By the way, he gets top money, but it's never about the money. Like, of all the guys I negotiate with at that level, he's the one that goes, I leave it to you, get me what's right, but I need greatness. Trust me when I say, speak to fighters every day, belts matter. All Boots wants to do is to become a two-time world champion, to unify, to become undisputed. Let's make Fundora against Josh Kelly. The winner of this fight fights the winner of that. We've got an undisputed champion by the end of this year.
Meanwhile, Zayas tunes out the outside chatter and locks in on preparation. He trusts his team to have him ready for the biggest night of his career. For Zayas, this isn't just another step up. It's the moment he silences all the doubters.
Fighting at 154, you got to make a little bit of weight. I'm growing, I'm getting better, I'm getting bigger. We keep controlling it. I have a great nutritionist team that work with me. They're ones that work with Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, so they know what they're doing. And I believe in them throughout, my whole career.
So there's no concern?
Not at all, never. There's never been no concerns.
Xander,
You took this. They brought a lot of history to Puerto Rico in the boxing world in the island. But to be honest, it's all about my legacy. It's about building Xander Zayas and what he's going to bring to the table every time he steps into the ring.
Further showing his confidence, Zayas feels no pressure walking into the biggest fight of his career. He insists beating Boots Ennis on June 27th will prove he's the best 154-pounder in the world. For Zayas, this isn't just another step up, it's his arrival at the top of the division.
Man, there's no pressure. There's no pressure at it. I mean, you work towards that. You work towards all these things that I've been accomplishing. There's no pressure. I'm supposed to be here. I work to be here. So at the end, when I beat Boots, it's gonna place me at a whole different level at the 154 division.
Expanding on that perspective, Greg Hackett takes the discussion a step further by crediting Boots Ennis' success, not to luck, but to a relentless work ethic and training discipline that critics tend to ignore. He frames the upcoming fight as the real answer to who rules 154 pounds, a high-stakes elimination test, not just another title defense.
I ain't seen a fighter yet. I ain't seen a fighter yet that worked like Boots Ennis. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't seen a fighter yet that worked like that. That put that pain in like that. I ain't seen it. I know it's fighters that work hard, but I'm talking about that work like that. Consistency. I ain't seen it. Really putting that pain in. And I'm saying really grinding it out. You know what I mean? I ain't seen it. Who's the best at 54? This is what that fight is about. Who the best at 54?
What's the outcome?
I think Boots will get him in the eighth round, 8th or 9th round. Get him out.
While people keep calling Xander Zayas green, unready, and untested, Greg pushes back hard. Greg argues that if Zayas was truly all those things, he never would have become a unified champion by accident. He admits matchmaking matters, but insists Zayas still fought and beat everyone placed in front of him. For Greg, Zayas has already done what he needed to do, and that's exactly why Greg likes him.
Well, you know what people do? They say, matchmaking. No, matchmaking matters, but you still got to fight. Xander fought to get his way here. He did what he had to do. He beat who he needed to beat. And I like him.
But not everyone sees it as a settled case, especially when the matchup is viewed through a more technical lens. Pro boxer Brian Norman Sr. sees Jaron Ennis with a slight edge in strength, but calls the Zayas matchup far from one-sided. He admits the fight is a toss-up on paper and warns that Zayas' movement and footwork could flip the script. For Ennis, this isn't just another showcase, it's a genuine risk against a live underdog who can make him miss all night.
When it comes to strength, and I know people gonna say, you said Boots couldn't hit. No. He's still a grown man. One thing when it comes to strength, you got to get an edge to Boots. Of course, when it comes to, that's gonna be a good fight. I ain't gonna say much. That's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who I'm picking. I'm with what's the name on that? I'm with Bernie on that. I don't know who to pick on that. That's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a great fight, period.
What makes it great?
Because Xander's leg is gonna make it great. That's what's gonna make it great to me.
Shifting focus to the matchup, Robert Garcia questioned Jaron Ennis' experience at 154. Garcia pointed out that Boots hadn't been fully tested at the weight and suggested that Robert Garcia questions Jaron Ennis' experience at 154 pounds, noting Boots hasn't been fully tested at the weight. He warns that against a naturally bigger Xander Zayas, the size and strength gap could become more obvious as the fight wears on, especially in the late rounds.
I think Boots, as talented as he is, I think he still hasn't really tested the 154 because one round didn't do much for him. He didn't really test, so he might be very talented, but in the late rounds against a solid 154 pounder that might be getting closer to moving to 160 because Xander Zayas is big, so. That could be a little bit of a difference there, you know, if we compare both fights. Young age, yes, Fernando was 21 if I'm not mistaken, and it was a little bit maybe too soon from what a lot of people think.
From that perspective, the conversation shifts to how seasoned trainers view the matchup itself. Coach Bredman sees Xander Zayas as a tricky left-hand dominant fighter who counters well with his left. After watching Zayas' fights closely, he respects the matchup and calls it a great fight for both guys. For Boots Ennis, this isn't just another title defense. It's a real test against a sharp, overlooked opponent. One wrong read on Zayas' left hand could turn the whole night around.
Great matchup. I love it, and I'm happy for both guys and both teams. You know, once I saw that they did a press conference, I actually just for my own ability to research, I actually watched a couple of Xander fights because I've obviously seen more of Boots than I have of him, and he's a good fighter. He's left-hand dominant. I'm going to say that he's probably left-handed because I watched him real good. He definitely favors his left hand underneath. He counters with his left hand. He's a left-hand dominant fighter.
That said, Bredman still puts Boots on a completely different level. Harder punch, faster feet, sharper counters, and a much better jab. The coach sees Xander Zayas as a tricky left-hand dominant fighter who does his best work as a counterpuncher, often setting traps and firing back with his left at sharp angles. From his view, this isn't just about raw talent, it's about timing, discipline, and who can control the exchanges in key moments. It's a real, live test against a sharp, overlooked opponent who can make things uncomfortable if he's allowed to settle in.
But I do think that there is a significant difference in talent. I think Boots is punch harder, he's faster, he's more reactive, he's more twitchier, he's a better counter puncher, there's a better jab. I didn't see one thing that Xander does better than Boots. And Boots, they criticize his defense, but And I'm not saying anything bad about Xander. I don't want you to take that like that. But he kind of has a large head. He gets hit really clean. I watch his fights and his head snaps back a lot. And I just look, I said, damn, they criticize Boots. Boots gets hit with single shots.
Building on that, Bredman also argues Boots is actually better defensively than Zas, despite the criticism Boots gets for getting hit. He believes Zas's style of constantly moving against that kind of firepower will drain his stamina fast. Unless a freak accident like a headbutt or DQ happens, Bredman doesn't see any path for Zas to win. For Zas, surviving 12 rounds of non-stop movement against a harder puncher is the absolute best case scenario.
So I think that Boots is better defensively than Xander. And I think that because of Xander's style, I think that it's going to be very energy depleting for him to have to move like that all night against somebody with the kind of firepower that Boots has. So I know that Xander might look bigger, but Boots is a strong dude, man. He could punch. Unless it's like some kind of freak accident, like a headbutt or like a weird disqualification or something, I don't see how Xander gonna win this fight. He may could go the distance if he moves all night, but I just don't know if he's gonna be able to keep his stamina up.
Even the experts can't agree on what happens next. Paulie Malignaggi predicts a high-stakes matchup. Zayas carries the spotlight of a future star, but Ennis brings a level of danger that can flip the script in an instant. And when the fight begins, the truth won't be debated, it'll be decided.
Surprised they put in Xander that early. Listen, Xander will fight anybody. He's that kind of fighter. Super marketable fighter, so that's why I was surprised that they're taking this chance with him a little early. If he wins, he's a megastar. Ennis is one of the best fighters in the sport today. This is a fight I think both of them need, but I think Ennis needed it more because Ennis is a little older. With Zayas, you had time to wait on this kind of risk. So credit to both guys for making it. Credit to DAZN for making it, for getting all these promoters together and making these big fights. I think it's an exciting fight for the reason that it's done at this point. I think it serves Ennis better.
If Zayas pulls this off, he doesn't just win, he becomes a major star with an entire nation behind him. Malignaggi also thinks this opportunity came too late for Zayas. Waiting 2 more years would have served him better. The danger is that if Zayas can't pull off the win now, he might never reach his full potential as a draw. Even with a victory, Malignaggi isn't convinced Zaz would be the true best at 154 pounds. But Zaz remains the most marketable young fighter in the hemisphere, especially with the Puerto Rican fan base behind him. For Zaz, this isn't just another fight, it's the moment that decides whether he becomes a major star or just another talented name.
So we'll see if Zayas can pull this off, because he becomes a major star if he does.
So whoever wins this fight, are they the best at 154, you think, or they have to go through Fundora?
I don't know. I don't know if they're the best at 154. It's certainly Fundora has to be considered, you know. But Zayas is, again, he's the most marketable guy right now in this hemisphere, I think, as far as young guys. Not that Ennis isn't. Again, but there's that Puerto Rican fan base. If you give them a champion like that with all the marketability that Zayas has, they will blend in very nicely.
And that uncertainty around the matchup is exactly what has shaped how Jaron Ennis approaches his training and preparation. With Zayas being viewed as a real stylistic threat, Jaron Ennis has turned his camp into something intense and explosive, sharpening that already dangerous blend of speed and power that makes him one of the most feared fighters in the division. Every session has been built around timing, explosiveness, and breaking rhythm, pushing his punching speed to another level while keeping that knockout power fully intact. In boxing, it's been non-stop pressure, fast combinations, sudden bursts, and sharp angle changes meant to simulate Zayas' movement and force quick reactions under fatigue. Ennis isn't just trying to be faster, he's working on being unpredictable, turning defense into instant offense and making every exchange feel like a trap. The message in camp is clear: if Zayas hesitates for even a second, the speed and force coming back at him will be overwhelming, and once Ennis gets into rhythm, fights tend to end on his terms. Zayas has been showing his own danger in camp too, with real punching power that catches attention even in sparring. He doesn't just throw to score, there's intent behind every shot, and when he sits down on his punches, they land with real authority. What's impressed observers most is how composed he stays under pressure, picking his moments instead of rushing exchanges. In sparring, he's been working more like a craftsman than a brawler, measuring distance, setting traps, and countering with sharp precision when openings appear. As we wrap this up, Xander Zayas versus Jaron Ennis feels like more than just another matchup. It's a glimpse into where boxing could be headed. Zayas brings discipline, timing, and a polished skill set that continues to evolve with every fight. On the other side, Ennis has already built a reputation as one of the most dangerous and complete fighters in the sport, blending speed, power, and creativity in a way that few can match. If these two share the ring, it's not just about winning, it's about making a statement that echoes across the division. The real intrigue lies in how their styles collide. Can Zayas control the pace and keep things technical, or does Ennis impose his will and turn it into the kind of fight where his explosiveness takes over? These are the kinds of matchups that define careers and reshape divisions, and it's exactly why fans get excited about the future. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing for more in-depth fight analysis and previews. Stay connected for upcoming content and keep following the fight game as it continues to deliver moments like this.